Oh my god, you guys need to see the way my daughter is looking at me right now. Like, everything is just strange to her. This YouTube life, she's not all about that life, I swear. Hi, my poor begin. Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by. If it's your first time, please subscribe to this channel, and I'm gonna appreciate you. Before I continue, I just want to take time off to say welcome to all the new subscribers. I see you guys. I actually gained a number of subscribers after I dropped my last video, so probably you guys like it when I actually analyze, really, when I analyze looks on the red carpet. So that's gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing on this channel. Okay, mama. Yeah, that's gonna be a thing on this channel, you know. So I just want to tell you guys welcome. This is a safe place. This is a place where we share things. I sit down and talk. I do makeup, I do fashion, I talk about unpopular opinions which people don't like talking about. I do talk about things like that. So yeah. And to my old subscribers, you guys know you are family members. You know, we are all family members now. We are all family now. So welcome back and thank you. I don't even know how to talk anymore. It's been a long time since I dropped a video, about, you know, almost 8 weeks, you know, 7 to 8 weeks, and I've been on a hiatus, which was very necessary because I had to go stop and bring out a full human person out of me. You know, yes, a human person. So I had to go take time off, do that, and then take time off, get back to myself, be myself again, feel myself again before coming to sit in front of the camera. It's very important, guys. Like, I don't want to be under the pressure to come back quickly and do snap back. No, guys, no. It was like, for me, the process was not, it's not been easy. It's been different for me. So, but that's a whole different video. So today I'm just gonna introduce my daughter to you guys, and I'm gonna tell you my story, the delivery and the labor story, because some people are really interested in that story. You know, it appears that some people really like to hear. I am one of those people that like to listen to videos or people tell me about their delivery stories. So yeah, I'm gonna start by introducing my daughter to you guys, because she is like, she's sitting on me right now, and ta-da, ta-da, this is Darlene. Darlene, say hi. Hi everyone, hey. Darlene is a very big baby. She's like, as of now, she was born on the 24th of December, and today is the 19th, so she's like 3 weeks and a few days. Yeah, she's a very big baby. Yeah, it's always like that with me, with my children, so I'm not that surprised. They come out normal, but they grow up very big babies. Is that English even correct? Anyways, let me just get into how it all happened. Darlene is gonna be here throughout this video because probably she does not like sitting on the bed or sleeping on her own. She's spoiled like that. So you're just gonna sit here and listen to me spit on your face and talk to my people. Okay, like I said, Darlene was born on the 24th of December, which was quite a good day. Some people like it like that. Personally, I was not excited about that particular day. So this is how it all happened. Darlene was due. Her name is Darlene. She was due on the 11th of December. So I was so prepared on that day, and I was like, oh, I was so tired. On the 11th, the day came. I was looking at her dad was looking at me, and we were like, what's happening? It passed 1 week after. At the point I started feeling like maybe I'm the one keeping this child in my stomach. What's going on? So Darlene came at 42 weeks, and even at that, she was induced. So here in Finland, normally you can go to the hospital and say whatever you want, like, I'm bleeding, I've seen the mucus plug, I'm seeing bloody show. If you are not having contractions, real contractions, if you're not in labor, and you are not 41 weeks and 5 days, they don't induce you. And if you are not booked for an operation, you are not being operated upon. I went to the hospital about 3 times, and we were driven back to come back home. You know, we were sent back home. So it was crazy. I was frustrated. 42 weeks, guys. I don't wish that even for my worst enemy. It was so difficult. I was in pain. I could not do anything, and the bump was extremely big. I was expanded. So on that day, on the 42nd week, on the day I had to go and admit myself into the hospital for an induction, I left the house, and I went to the hospital, and they started the process, because here they go from one step to the next. I don't know about other places. So But before that, I had already seen the mucus plug. I had seen blood once, but just normal. And I remember my last pregnancy update video, I told you guys I had a condition called placenta previa. But I went at 32. Unfortunately, I did not do a third trimester update because, you know, I was just so tired. So I went to the gynecologist. I went to the specialist that I was sent to before the baby came. That was around the 32nd week. I went there, and they told me that the placenta was in a good position now, and that they were not going to book me for an operation anymore. So yeah, so on that day I went to the hospital, and they started with the induction. The first thing they did was to insert a balloon through my vagina, a balloon which is going to put pressure on the cervix and start contractions. So on arriving the hospital, I had already contracted. Sorry, Darlene, sit quiet, sit very quiet. So on arriving the hospital, I had already dilated about 2.5, which means while at home I was dilating and I did not even know. But I was feeling some very light contractions, nothing serious. You know, the Braxton Hicks on the last days were even gone. I was not feeling anything, just the discomfort of it all. So on arriving, I already dilated 2.5. They inserted the balloon, and they said, okay, with this balloon, it's gonna come out natural. It's gonna come out on its own. Don't try to pull it out. They told me things to do. They sent me back home. That was on the 23rd, and that was around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So they sent me back home. I came back home, and when I came back home, I started feeling light contractions. And I'll say light contractions because for me personally, my pain tolerance is super high. I can, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, my pain tolerance is about 7 to 8. I can actually tolerate pain. So I will not say the contractions were really that deep. They were not that serious. Darlene is watching Okay Bakasi on the TV. So yeah, I came back home, and 3 hours after the balloon came out, we went back to the hospital, and the doctor came and checked, and they said I had dilated up to about 5. This is to tell you that I could tolerate pain. I was not really feeling much pain, but you know, to dilate up to 5, you have actually almost gotten into active labor. So yeah, we got there, and then the next step now was for the doctor to come and break my membrane, like break the water, break the baby's water. So the doctor came, and they did that. They did their procedures. They broke the water. Wait, is it break or broke? Whatever, whichever. So when the doctor broke the water, sorry, I don't even know how to speak English anymore. I swear down. So tell me, Dr. Kapna, that doctor broke the water. The contractions took another level, like it went on to a whole different level. But before that, the nurse already asked me, like, would you like to take any kind of pain relief during your labor? I was like, my first child, I gave birth to him in Africa, and there are no pain reliefs there, so I can try to do it, but just keep the epidural standby in case I change my mind. I would like to do this since I have dilated 5 already, but just keep it standby. So she did that, prepared everything, and kept it, you know, on standby. When they broke my water, hey, the contraction then skyrocketed. So you guys keep wondering why when I get to this point I start speaking pidgins, because I don't know if it's break or broke. I beg. So the contractions, like, they took another level. They were so painful, and I was like, my life flashed in front of my eyes. Then I dilated to like 6. I called the nurse. I was like, please bring the epidural now. I want it now. So they gave me the epidural, and guys, epidural is live. Is a lifesaver. But and however, the procedure of epidural is not easy. It is so intense. Like, I have a video, but I cannot show you that video because I was like, everything was just open. You know, this whole thing was filmed, but I don't want to put it out here on YouTube. No, I just feel like that's something for me and my family. Almost everything was filmed. Yes, the procedure is so intense. You feel like current is going into your body, and it's like you're on the electric chair. God forbid, but man, it's so intense. But after they finish, everything is like, the pain goes, and I started chatting, busybody, and then I started dilating. The contractions were like, and you don't feel any pain, but one thing for sure is you feel pressure around your abdomen. So I stayed in that, like, that was about 9 o'clock in the night. So I stayed on that epidural up till about midnight when it expired, and then I started feeling pain again. So I called for more epidural, you know, for them to refill. They refilled, you know, they added more, another dose of it. And then after they added another dose of it, I became very relaxed again. And then I started sleeping. And that was the worst thing that ever happened to me throughout my labor. As I started sleeping, it's like this madam started sleeping too. She just fell asleep. The heart rate went down completely and was not coming up, because normally during labor the heart rate goes, is it heart rate? Yes, it goes up and down, but at this time it went down. I was not coming up again, so everybody was scared. The nurse the midwife started calling the doctor, and then at that point she said I have to go to the toilet to try and pee so she can see if my bladder is working efficiently. On waking up from the bed, I could not walk. Everything was numb. I was like, I saw the light. I saw the white light, man. I walked and I tried. I could not. They carried me into the toilet. So while I sat on the toilet pot, I started feeling like vomiting. And then I said, I want to vomit. They should give me something to vomit. They gave me, I could not vomit. This child makes some really scary sounds. I could not vomit. And then, later on, I said, please give me water. When they say water is a lifesaver, water literally saved my life. I drank 2 cups like a la trumpet, boom, 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 and I felt better immediately. So I was like, okay, I regained myself. And then I went back. I struggled, but I still could not walk. They took me back to the bed. And at that time, it's like the baby was also up, and her heart rate went back to normal, and it started going up and down. So everything was okay. So I stayed like that for like 3 hours. I decided not to sleep again, not to relax. I said I would stay up. So at about 2:30, they checked me. I had dilated to about 9 centimeters. So the nurse was like, okay, if you feel like pushing, you start pushing. If you feel like pooping, you start pushing. I said, okay. At 9, I started trying, but it was not serious. I was not really doing anything, you know. Then at about 3 a.m. in the morning, I had dilated to 10. So I started pushing at that time. From 3 o'clock, I started pushing. Pushing this child out took me just about 30 minutes overall, but it was quite intense. It was fast, but really intense, because she came out. She came out in the wrong position. She was not coming out in the right direction. The right direction rather, because normally babies come out with their heads facing down, but she was coming out with her head facing the left side, like sideways. So the nurse discovered, and she was a little bit worried. So when I started pushing, it was like the road was too small. She sent her hand into the cervix, and she was like, okay, it's like there's no way, because you seem to be pushing and there's no progress. So she called the doctor. Her heart rate went down again. So she called the doctor and explained. The doctor had to come this time out to be there present. Darlene, please, you're in front of people. Please stop doing this thing. Do it when me and you were in the house. It's very scary. I don't know if it's our own way of playing or talking. So I started pushing. And when I started pushing, I realized that I was pushing, but nothing was really happening. I felt it like nothing was happening. And I was like, God, you took me right up to this stage. From the beginning, they told me that I was going to go through a CX. And now I am already at the point of pushing. Please do this thing for me. I was just talking in my head, and all I could do was stare at people around me. So I heard her saying something like, okay, now that the baby is not coming, we'll have to use a vacuum to pull out the baby. Like, they'll have to use something like to do this to my vagina and bring the baby out, like I was not understanding all those things, so I had to ask all over again after. So eventually, before all this process started, they did an ultrasound, and the first thing I asked was the baby's weight. So they told me the baby was 3.7. So I was quite relieved, because at 42 weeks I was expecting like a 4 or more. They said 3.7. I was like, okay. I pushed 3.8. Now 3.7 for me is nothing. So when I started pushing, I pushed, and then the doctor came and they were preparing things. I saw her holding a scissors. So when I saw scissors and other instruments and utensils and things, I was like, hey, maybe they want to tear me, and me now like this, I don't want any tear or any stitch, because I'm going to be on this baby on my own, as in alone. Yes, alone. So I don't need anything that will make me not to be able to take care of this child when I leave the hospital. Please, Papa God. So I was just confused. I was not understanding anything that was happening. I was just struggling to push. So at one point, I felt a strong contraction, and then the lady said, push. I pushed, and the doctor was already standing there with her vacuum and things, like the things to come and do in my vagina. So when she saw me push at that time, she was like, okay, even though this baby is coming out in the wrong position or the wrong direction, I think the way I see things, she can actually push. And then I felt another strong contraction again. Man, these people are very professional. Like, the midwives here are so, the midwife was so professional. They know what they are doing. And I had been watching so many videos. I already knew so many things. At least I was aware of so many things than before. So I knew that when they tell you to stop pushing at a certain point, then the head is crowning, then it comes out on its own. So when I pushed and she said stop, I knew that, okay, I have done it. She said stop at that point. She said just keep breathing in and out, and I was breathing in and out, and the head came out just like that. And then I remember that this, you know, pushing the rest of the child was very easy with this baby. With my first son, it was so difficult, I could not even do it. So I knew again that at some point they'll have to tell me to stop for the child to come out on her own. So I continued again. I felt another strong contraction, and she said push. I pushed her. The first, her head came out, and the second time, as I pushed and she said stop, again automatically whoop, and that was how, boom, ta-da, this one came to life. And you guys know now, babies come out with some type of shape of head there. Yeah, grandma, their head alone, man, one kind of long hair like that. She came out with that shape, like her head was long, you know, passing through the birth canal and all that. So her dad, since it's his first experience, he was just like, wow, he was seeing everything for the first time. So when I saw that head, I was like, wow, this one really came out with a real deal. You know, my son was even better. This part was long like this. I said, and she came out in that position, the very wrong direction, looking this way instead of looking down. They had to do their kind of manipulation, and yeah, that's how I gave birth to this little human being here, who has been like my boss and is doing the most in my life. Like, guys, it's been crazy. Like, the past 1 month has been crazy, or almost 1 month has been crazy, but we thank God. And I thank you guys for your patience. What I want to say again is that I plan to share my postpartum journey with you people, and I'm going to make a whole different video, because after that, giving birth to this child was just the beginning of it all. I faced so much. Like, after the child came, I was strong and everything. I had no stitches. I had no tearing, nothing. Just, I think, a little bruise. Everything down there was just, I was just like, okay. But I was so weak to the extent that I kept eating and eating and eating, feeling that the food will give me energy. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna make a whole different video on my postpartum recovery and things, but this is how this child came into existence. And I just want to thank you guys so much for the support throughout this journey. It was quite a challenging one, and I thank God that even though from the beginning it looked like I was gonna have a cesarean section, God saw me through for me to give birth to this child naturally, because he knew that I was gonna be on her alone. So yeah, I thank God for strength. I thank you guys for persevering and staying with me. And yeah, so I'm just gonna stop here. I'm gonna stop talking here. Before I go, I'm gonna say it. Happy New Year. When is it? Like, when do we stop saying Happy New Year? Is it late already? Is it still, do people still say it? Happy New Year and Happy Christmas, apparently in areas. Happy New Year to you guys. 2020, it's starting with so many challenges for me, you know, so many things that I have to deal with, but it's okay. Happy New Year, and I'm very happy to be back. I feel like I pray that I'm gonna be consistent this year, since I'm on a maternity leave for a whole year. So yeah, before I go, stay pretty, stay slaying, always smile. Bye guys.